So this video I'm going to react to, guys, has a very valuable lesson to it. You know, everyone wants to do real estate, but people just don't do their research quite well, or they have this big dream that everything is going to work out, and it doesn't work out exactly how they expected. In this video, someone bought a 7-unit complex. He thought he was gonna make it, to make so much money, everything's gonna be awesome. But there was a disaster, and he breaks it down. And this is really, really interesting. You should check out his channel. I'll put the video in my description. Let's watch this.
Books, all the podcasts, they all say real estate will make you rich. All you have to do is buy it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, they all talk about buying real estate and passive income. So what I do, I bought a building. And now I'm going broke. I thought this was gonna be my big win. I thought I was gonna finally get passive income and I was gonna be able to have some sort of freedom. But to be honest, I experienced the opposite. My phone doesn't stop ringing because of leaks, plumbing that doesn't work, trash is overfilled at the property, landscaping needs to get done, electrical issues, just like a whole bunch of things that happen.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad was supposed to be an inspirational book for so many people. But you know what? It's the opposite for a lot of people. It gave them so much encouragement to just go out and get real estate, right? Get so excited about real estate to go out and buy real estate thinking everything's going to be easy because Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book said that's exactly what you do, right? You don't want to be like the poor dad. You want to be like the rich dad. The rich dad take risks. That's what you want to do. But that has not worked out for so many people. This video is not the only video that I've seen where someone mentioned that they followed the principle of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There was another person that said they watched their father go through it and go through so much depression because they try to follow this Rich Dad, Poor Dad lifestyle, and they got into real estate. And when they got into real estate, things didn't work out the way they expected. And it seems like this is the case right here. Listening to podcasts and whatnot and getting so inspired by someone else's story is great. But just understand, guys, that everyone else's lifestyle and the way they got to what they got to is a lot of dirty work that they've been through, grinding, hustling, a lot of failures and mistakes. And what you're seeing is just the end result. You're seeing chapter 13 or 4, not chapter 13, no bankruptcy. You're seeing chapter 15 of their book. When you're on chapter 1, you're comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter. You can't. You have to recognize this is not just something that is easy. Nothing is easy. Whenever someone comes out and says, real estate's the easiest thing to do, you make so much money, it's better than the market. No, man, there's risk associated with everything you do. Now, if you get the right property, right, and you have the right situation in that property, you have tenants, good cash flow, then things could work. But it requires a whole lot of research. You can't just buy a house blindly or an investment blindly thinking this is just going to work out because this is the information you read. Everyone is telling you to do that, or this podcaster is saying how much money they made on real estate. It's good to see, you know what I'm saying, and get inspired by what people are doing and say, that's what I want to do. But what's really, really important is it something that you could do? You have the ability to do it. You have all the research that they had in order for you to become successful. Let's continue watching because this video gets even better.
In this video, I'll be breaking down exactly what happened, why I'm losing money, and the lessons I learned the hard way so you don't have to make the same mistakes. This is the breakdown. A business partner of mine found the property. He said that he wanted to partner up on it. We just had to go and negotiate with the sellers. So we met with the sellers, we negotiated the deal. We got it under contract for $555,000. This is my first investment property. So I was super excited. It's a 7-unit. It's 1 building and a 2-family in the back. The building consists of 2 commercial units and then 3 residential units on the top floor, and then the 2-family in the back. So a total of 7 units.
Now I can see why he gets excited and inspired by the whole situation because this is his first investment, and it does sound very, very well. Two commercial spots. He said five apartment units. That sounds like, yo, this is chin-chin. Like, things are going to work out. But what he said in the beginning of the video was all these issues that was happening, right? All this, the landscaping and all these issues. I gotta be like a warning, like, you know, there's something going on in these units that need to have some type of maintenance, right? You cannot have these units not running functionally, and now you inherit all these expenses, especially when you're in it to make money. Gotta do your research, man. You just have to do your research. But I'm not gonna lie, from seeing all that, it looks like a lot of potential, right? I don't know what location he's in. I don't know how bad the condition is because he said in the beginning of the video, this is one of the worst things he did. So I'm not sure how bad the situation is, but I could definitely see why he saw some potential in it. And I don't know about you guys, you let me know, but I get a little queasy when someone's like, or a business partner came to me with this deal. It's like, especially when you're new into investing, it's like no one's really that generous to be like, yeah, I want to go in business with someone that never did it before. I don't know. You let me know if I'm right or wrong, but I feel like they're probably trying to take advantage of you. Like they know that you never been into business and you might not ask all the questions that someone with more experience might ask. So they're gonna go to you because they know like, hey, I could sell this story of like how much money you can make, and they're probably going through what they're going through now, and they're gonna jump on it. I don't know. I get really queasy when someone just comes to me like, "Hey, I got this business opportunity." I'm like, "No, no, no, no. I need to do all my research myself before I just jump in with someone and get into business." Because it doesn't always work out, man. It really doesn't always work out. And if this business partner of his is like a good friend or a family member, things could get ugly.
This property was currently making $4,600 a month, and I figured all the rents were super low. The guy hasn't raised the rents in years, so I figured I could raise the rents to at least 8 to 9,000. But if I put all the rents at market rate and I fill the 2 vacancies, I should have been at $10,190 per month if everything worked out well. But currently, the property was making $4,625. So recently, I raised all the rents 50 bucks. 5 tenants, so that's $250, and now it's making $4,875.
Now, I am a little about raising the rent. Listen, when you have tenants, you're good, man, right? Especially the good tenants. He didn't explain his situation with the tenants if they're good or not. But if he has good tenants, and when he bought the home and he recognized we bought his units, and he recognized the cash flow, the amount of money he was going to get, he should have been comfortable with that, right? He really should have been comfortable with that while he fixes all these little issues that need to be fixed, knowing you have stable tenants in the building. And then later on, I guess you jack up the rent a bit, right? I guess you do. But once you know you're able to most likely get some tenants, then I would do that. But there's nothing better, man, in real estate than having consistent tenants show up that are not a pain in the ass, right? That you have tenants is reliable, they paid every month, everything is stable. There's nothing better than that. There really isn't, man. Because right now, with a lot of high turnover, it's not easy sometimes to bring in another tenant. It's really, really difficult. So I would like to have, I would like to for him to have just never raised the rent and try to like manage everything as much as possible, get things fixed, calm waters, right? Nice and stable, rather than just instantly just increasing the rent. Don't get me wrong, it probably was below market value, the rent, but man, just having tenants already, especially when you bought the home, you probably had hopefully he had a conversation with the sellers, and maybe they gave him some information about the tenants, like, hey, look, they're good, they've been there for a certain amount of time, they're reliable, then that's awesome. But just going in there raising the rents, it's a risk for them to just leave, and who knows, right? Maybe in that area where he's at right now, maybe that's considered too high. I would have done things a little differently, but that's just me.
All right, so here's the story. I thought it would be a great deal, but reality is different, so let's run the numbers. So far, I've spent $16,419.56 on just repairs. So 2 units had to be turned over. We turned over the first one. It came out to about 10 grand, and then the rest of that, the 6,000, is just repairs that keep coming up. Leaks, electrical, landscaping, and someone needed a new stove. So all these things add up. So far I'm into it for $16,419.56. It currently makes $4,875. Expenses are $6,646.76. Basically, I'm losing $1,771.76 every single month.
Now, I'm not trying to beat up on this guy at all because his whole video is like a lesson, right? He's trying to teach a lesson about his experience. That way people don't make the same mistake. But the number one red flag that I see is how could he had not known beforehand all these repairs that need to be placed, that need to happen. He should have known that beforehand and have made a budget to understand, okay, it's not simply just getting the units, it's going to be repairing the units. And that's the true cost of all of this. It's like trying to fix the plane while it's flying. It's a little too late. It's in the air right now. You're trying to fix everything when at the same time you're losing money, right? He's losing money during this transaction. And that's a horrible way to start, your first venture into getting into real estate, right? Is having to deal with all of that. Like you're also trying to learn, you're trying to learn exactly what it is to be, an real estate investment guy like himself. You're getting to learn all that, but at the same time, you're getting hit and hit. And if you're cash strapped and you're getting hit with all these things, it's not going to work well. It doesn't make it a fun experience. It really doesn't. Like knowing that you have all these issues beforehand, at least you could prepare you to have some cash to take care of those repairs. But when you just don't go in there and you don't know that, man, is this not a good way to start getting into real estate? Listen, I'll tell people this time and time again, it doesn't mean that he shouldn't get into doing that part of investing, like right, become an investment manager. You can also buy rates. You can also buy this in the market and not be a tenant, and that's it. Buy some rates, invest, and that's it, and let everyone else deal with it. And you're investing in the market, and you're getting a very, very, very good return with that as well. But I understand it's really enticing to own your own property, to build your own wealth, but you certainly have to do research. And losing money already off the bat with information you should have known beforehand, it's pretty tough.
My plan for this building was to fix the 2 units, rent them out, fix a couple other units, do like regular upgrades and updates, and then raise all the rents. Then the value of the building would be $700,000. Then I could refinance, take my original money out, and the property was still cash flow, and then I'll go ahead and buy another property. So it's the burst strategy. The reality is this is a lot harder than I thought. Maintaining this property is a lot harder than I thought, and dealing with 5 different families is actually tough. And it's something that I wasn't prepared for. But this is my first investment property, and maybe I bought something too big and it's just too much responsibility. I do have a property manager that takes care of like the day-to-day, but it's still nonstop. There's always an issue, there's always something going on. But the upside is that once I do raise all the rents, the cap rate on is 18.5%, which is actually really good, even if I refinance and take the cash out. So the problem, I'm leaking money on this thing every single day.
A lot of plans. Like I planned this to happen, I planned this to happen. Like Mike Tyson said, what I'm saying? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And that seems to be the case. And that is always the case when it comes to, it's not only real estate, it's with any type of business venture. You would think things would work out perfectly fine. It's never the case. It's never the case. It's always messy. Things don't always go the way you expected. And he's just there thinking, I get the property, then I have the fixes, then it's 700,000, then I take the money out. That's a lot of assumptions that he was making. A lot of assumptions he was making. And it felt like, and once again, right, he's new into this. And I'm not a real estate guy. I'm not here trying to tell you like, this is my experience. I'm not. I'm just speaking just on the logical sense because I see what's going on. And, if you have some just common sense and you're very cautious in the moves that you make, especially when in business, then you have the foresight to know, okay, things are not going to be that perfect. So you kind of expect things. It's not being a pessimist, but it's understanding things are never that perfect. If he just takes it a step at a time and see what happens in the end, then that's fine. But you should not get property and expecting it's going to be $700,000. Like, come on, there's a lot of things in between that he's dealing with now that it just doesn't work that way, right? Just saying that's going to be worth this amount of money and I'm going to do this and that. Nah, it doesn't work that way. But I get it, right? Because we all want to get into a business to make money, and you see a great opportunity and you want to jump on it. But it's not as easy as everyone expects. That's why I love this video. And it's really, really interesting. I'm going to put it in my description so you guys can watch this whole video because it's really interesting. I like how he's being vulnerable and he's explaining exactly why it's not that easy. Like a lot of people will hide this type of content, not show people and show people the end result. This is me with a 10-unit apartment building and I made so much money you could do it. I like the fact that he's explaining the bad side of it, but it doesn't mean it's over, right, at all, because I'm pretty sure there'll be a good redemption after all this. But it's a learning experience, and he's sharing it. That way, everyone out there understands and they learn. It's not as easy as you think, but it is possible. Guys, drop a comment down below. You let me know what you think. And at the same time, hit the like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Peace.